1, 2, 3. Ao Yai. Incredible. Awesome. The reason why I wanted to bring up the word Ao Yai is because this next lady is wearing a beautiful pink one. She has been instrumental in welcoming our family to Hawaii. We'd like to bring up to the stage Auntie Lynn. She's the president of the Honolulu Symphony Foundation. Miss Lynn Johnson, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Tyvin. It is such an honor to be here and to celebrate 50 years of freedom for Vietnamese refugees. I'm going to talk about Nina. I knew her as Young. I still call her Young. Okay, that's the way it is. Okay, Castanetti. When? Castanetti, okay. She organized this event, as you know, and she's just an example of the outstanding contribution of Vietnamese refugees. Now, I first met Nina when she became my neighbor, and we soon found out that we were pregnant with our second children. Our daughters were born just days apart and have been best friends ever since. Jung and I soon discovered that we had other things that connected us. We both love music, and how appropriate to have the Royal Hawaiian Band here today. Music adds meaning for every occasion, whether it be a birthday, a wedding, a graduation, a funeral, or a special celebration like today. Jung has a beautiful singing voice and has sung in public both here in Hawaii and on the mainland. Lots of Vietnamese refugees like Jung have contributed their talents, whether as musicians, writers, or artists, and our lives are richer as a result. Jung and I also realized that having a positive outlook on life was essential. I remember Jung working very hard as a single parent to raise her two children, but never losing her optimism and determination. In this way, she is also typical of other Vietnamese refugees. In addition, we both love Hawaii, with its beautiful climate, beautiful nature, and cultural diversity. Hawaii has, in fact, no ethnic majority, and this is reflected in our government. While the ancestors of our first state governor came from Ireland, those of our third governor came from Japan. Those of our fourth were native Hawaiian. Those of our fifth came from the Philippines. Those of our eighth governor came from Okinawa. Our current lieutenant governor immigrated from Korea. There is no doubt in my mind that Hawaii will one day have a Vietnamese governor. Finally, you bet. Finally, I am grateful for Jung because she introduced me to Ao Yais, the beautiful Vietnamese dress. I loved the way Jung looked and wanted to look like her. I was delighted to find out that you don't have to be Vietnamese to wear an Ao Yai. Thank you, Jung, and to all Vietnamese in Hawaii for contributing so much to our state, to our nation, and to our world. Thank you.
Miss Jade Wall, otherwise known as Beziem. When she first came to America as Vietnamese boat people, she became a part of the VNTV-Ohana at age 7. Miss Jade Ziem has a bachelor in political science, a master's in education teaching, is a student in PhD in education exceptionalities program, and received an educator award in 2023 called the Milken Educator Award. Please welcome to the stage, Miss Jade Wall.
Just want to make sure this is at the right height. Xin kính chào quý vị và tất cả cộng đồng người Việt đang có mặt hôm nay. Aloha, distinguished guests, fellow Vietnamese Americans, and friends. 50 years ago, a wave of hope and desperation washed upon our shores. I, Jade Wall, born Pham Thị Bích Diệm, stand before you today as a testament to that journey. My story begins with my parents, brave boat people who fled Vietnam in the aftermath of the war, escaping political persecution, economic hardships, and the threat of re-education camps. The war took a devastating toll on our family, as it did for countless others. We lost my grandparents and other loved ones, leaving wounds that time has softened but never fully healed. Our family's journey is a tapestry woven across continents. My sister was born in a Hong Kong refugee camp, a symbol of resilience in trying times. I came into this world in Vietnam, carrying me with the echoes of a homeland left behind. And my brother, the youngest, was born here in the United States, embodying the new roots we planted. 3 children, 3 different countries, but one family united by a singular dream. At just 2 years old, I arrived in Hawaii, cradled in my parents' arms, their hearts heavy with memories, yet encouraged by dreams of a brighter future. We came to make a new world for ourselves, driven by what many immigrants share, the hope for a safer life, free from persecution, a path out of poverty, and the promise of a better world for their children. Our story is one of resilience and determination. My parents, like countless others, faced the daunting task of rebuilding their lives from seemingly nothing. They worked tirelessly, often juggling multiple jobs to provide for our family. Their struggle became our foundation, and their sacrifice our inspiration. Since 1975, over 15,000 Vietnamese immigrants have made Hawaii their home. We arrived with diverse abilities and talents, but united in the pursuit of the American dream. This dream, we discovered, was not a gift, but an opportunity, one that demanded hard work, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in ourselves. The impact of our community on Hawaii has been profound and multifaceted. From the aromatic pho restaurants that have become local favorites, to the meticulous care in nail salons, from the reliable taxi services to the vital contributions in medicine, law, finance, and education, we have woven ourselves into the fabric of this beautiful state. For me, the pathway to success was paved by public education. It was in these classrooms that I found my purpose, my voice, and my passion. The opportunities afforded to me through education has been the cornerstone of my achievements. Today, as a teacher and a vice principal, I strive to pay forward the gift of knowledge and empowerment that was so generously given to me. Recently, I was honored with the Milken Educator Award, a national recognition that speaks not just to my efforts, but to the collective success of our community. As I further pursue my education, I am reminded daily of the doors that have been opened for us and the responsibility we bear to keep those doors open for the future generations. The American dream is not just about personal success. It is about lifting others as we rise. It's about contributing to the community that has given us so much. As Vietnamese Americans, we understand this deeply. Our journey from refugees to integral members of society is a testament to the power of opportunity, hard work, and the welcoming spirit of our great nation. As we commemorate 50 years since the first wave of Vietnamese refugees arrived, let us celebrate our achievements, honor our struggles, and recommit us to the ideals that have guided us. Let us continue to dream, to strive, and to give back, ensuring that the legacy we leave is one of compassion, contribution, and hope. Thank you. Cảm ơn.
I would like to introduce the president of Vietnamese community of Southern California. Her name is Alinda Jung. Coming along with her, we have people, friends coming from Nevada, Minnesota, and California. Thank you so much for you guys paying your own ticket to come here. And thank you so much for the effort.
Thank you, Nina, for your kindness. Thank you, Taibing, for your crying. I'm crying too. Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. I, Erlinda Duong, am very so honored to be with you as the president of Vietnamese community of Southern California. I was born and raised in the South Vietnam, the country that honors freedom with respect, along with democracy and human rights. The country that gave me the person of what I am today. After April 30th, 1975, communist invasion South Vietnam is the most devastating event in the Vietnam history. My family is among millions of others were tearing apart. I was left behind and struggled to be survived in 17 years under communism. Luckily, I was reconnecting with my mom in the United States of America, and I am able to continue honoring freedom, carrying on the legacy of human rights and democracies that I lost completely 17 years in my life. Thank you for welcoming millions of the Vietnamese refugees to the land of the freedom and the home of praise. And what's most important thing to me is I can exercise democracies. As a woman who was starting from zero in this country, I have been working hard at the post office for 28 years. I was transformed to be an American mom who could raise my 3 children to accomplish college education, and now they are on their own. I'm proud to be American, and I encourage all Vietnamese Americans, new generation to come to learn about history of the roots of their Vietnamese ancestors as refugees who have started their life from nothing but freedom. Without the help of American people, we Vietnamese refugee Americans won't be able to be what they are today. Last but not least, we Vietnamese refugee Americans want to say thanks to Vietnam veterans. Thank you again.
And next, we'd invite you to please stand for the military taps performed by the Royal Hawaiian Band. And shortly after, the VNTV-Ohana will be performing Vietnam America, composed by Sung Diem. You may be seated. Thank you,
Thank you.
VNTV-Ohana.
Thank you, veteran. Thank you. Thank you so much for your sacrifice. I am here, we're here today. We want to say 3 thanks. The first one, thank you, America, for welcoming us. Okay. The second one, thank you, Vietnam veterans who sacrificed to protect us when we're in Vietnam. And thank you for your, including your family, to sacrifice for your time when we're in Vietnam too. The third one, I would like to say thank you to all the Vietnamese refugee American become good citizens of Hawaii. Thanks again.
Next, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Captain Dennis S.Q. Kim, U.S. Army 2-tour Vietnam veteran. Captain Dennis served 2 tours in Vietnam as a senior advisor to the 34th Vietnamese Rangers and fought in all the largest search and destroy operations of the war. His second tour was a senior advisor to the Chief of Tactics at the Duc Mai Ranger Training Center. After 5 years of service, he resigned his commission and undertook graduate studies under a Housing and Urban Development Fellowship. Upon graduation in 1970, he returned home and worked as a planner and landscape architect. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Dennis S.Q. Kim.
I'm honored to be here today, and this week has been a great week. On Saturday, I had a chance to march in the Vietnam Veterans Parade, and a few days later, I'm here talking to you. I am not a public speaker, and I wish that I could speak as well as Jade did, so I'm going to have to use my notes. And if I screw up, it's because I got a call this morning at 3 a.m. from a friend from France who was in India who needed help to find a person in the Netherlands that he could communicate and send money to. So I didn't get much sleep last night. In any event, I'm honored to be here today and thank Representative Mike Lee for his efforts to organize this event, and Nina for asking me to share my thoughts. Nina, I am touched that you consider me your hero for just having served and fought for your country's freedom. I have experienced the ravages of war, and to be able to celebrate with those who were able to flee communism and live in a free country brings me great joy. I was born and raised in Hawaii's best times, where I learned about democracy and love of country. Freedom and democracy were ingrained in me from elementary school when I stood and recited the Pledge of Allegiance daily and learned patriotic songs as well as songs from the South, which I still remember today. I grew up when we knew all of our neighbors, left our doors unlocked, drank water from a hose, and played with kids of all races until late in the evening or when our parents called us home. Our lives were very simple, without the internet and social media. We didn't have to buy toys. We made our own and played games from what we created. In my sophomore year at Michigan State University, I decided to pursue a career in the military. I did everything possible to achieve this, attaining the second highest rank in the brigade, graduating as a distinguished military student and distinguished military graduate, receiving my regular Army commission on 12 June 1964. I attended the infantry, airborne, and ranger schools before heading to the DMZ in Korea, on my first deployment. A year into my 18-month deployment, I volunteered to serve in Vietnam. Before I was deployed, I attended the Military Assistant Training Advisor course at Fort Bragg to prepare me for my assignment. It was an interesting course to prepare to be in Vietnam, but I was more prepared than others. Having grown up in Hawaii, I didn't experience culture shock when I arrived in country. I served 2 tours as a senior advisor with the Arvin Rangers and have maintained my contacts with those I served with. The Rangers, Airborne, and Marines were among the best fighting forces that South Vietnam had to offer. Now that I'm retired, I have 3 passions that keep me busy: preserving the history of the Vietnam and Korean Wars, mining for gold in the summer, and cooking. Life for me is good. As I reflect, I realize that my military training and service in Vietnam have greatly influenced how I have lived and the successes that I have achieved. Throughout my life, I have always lived by Robert Frost's poem, "The Road Not Taken," because of his challenges and what it took to overcome them. My Ranger training and serving in Vietnam significantly influenced me, overcoming all of the obstacles one at a time. Our motto, "Rangers Lead the Way," is how I have lived my life. I am proud of what the Vietnamese have accomplished in the new country by learning our language and customs, and more importantly, becoming good citizens. Your children have also given back by serving in our country's military, many of whom have achieved general flag status. In a few weeks, another significant event will occur when the first Vietnamese, Amanda Nguyen, will blast off into space. You have all embraced our ways and sharing your culture for us to learn from. I have returned to Vietnam twice to pay my respects at my counterparts' grave and the graves of the fallen. I also sent funds yearly to assist the severely wounded amputees, who the communists still today consider them enemies of the state. Reflecting on my life, I have witnessed how history repeats itself. My largest disappointment was how our country abandoned South Vietnam by reducing our aid and breaking our promises, resulting in Black Friday and the fall of Saigon on April 30th, 1975. If we're going to send our precious sons and daughters to war, please support them and don't hinder and tie their hands. Politicians should get out of the way and let the military fight to win. Since I have the podium, I would like to ask the governor to consider honoring the sons and daughters of Hawaii by creating and issuing a state commemorative medal or medallion to honor those that serve, as other states, counties, and cities have done since the Civil War. The response and slings and arrows that we receive when we returned home were not deserved. We just all answered the call of our country and gave it all. I have always believed in the cause of fighting for freedom and would do it again in a heartbeat. If you have any questions, please feel free to visit with me after the event. And as I heard and listened to other people today, there is one thing that I would like to add that wasn't on my list. Sat Kong. Kill communism. Sat Kong. Sat Kong. Aloha and mahalo.